Hello. So as you can tell, we are back in the loft. Here's the green wall. We decided to come back to LA for a little bit because Brian is going to be gone for most of the month and I didn't want to be alone in the Houston house for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. So we decided to come here, bring the dogs with us, and just check in our peer space. So it's actually been really, really productive. Our peer space is doing really well. We were able to make half of our rent last month, which was really exciting. That was the most we've made. But speaking of Houston, if you're new here, we just bought a house in Houston in February, and we have had problems after problems with the house. And I know repairs are very, very common when you first move into a house, right? Like, even though you get an inspection, even though you think you are prepared for all the issues that may come, turns out you're not prepared at all. However, some of the ones that we have been experiencing, I feel like maybe the issues were covered up. Like when we took off the plank walls in the living room and found kind of like illegal wiring within the walls, I feel like the planks were done to cover up all that illegal wiring. So stuff like that. And now we're just having to pay money to get things done correctly so we can live in a place that won't catch on fire. So the number one question that is asked in the comments when I share these videos is, did you get an inspection? And it's followed then up by, are you going to sue the inspector / the homeowner? So to answer the first question, yes, we did get an inspection. The main issues that were pointed out to us was that the roof needed to be done, we needed to get a new furnace, and eventually we would need to update the pipes throughout the whole house because they were still made of galvanized steel. And in fact, before we moved into the house, we fixed the roof and got a new furnace because we thought kind of those were the more immediate needs. We didn't want to have to move into the house and have the roof leaking, you know? It's just like a lot of things that we're discovering now that we've lived into the house that was not brought to our attention through the inspection. And because I am sharing these experiences, the follow-up question again to did you get the inspection is, are you going to sue the inspector? Now, an inspector is an essential part of the home buying process. It provides, like I said, buyers with an opportunity to understand potential issues with the house that you're going to buy. With our inspection, we used those results to actually lower the cost of the house so we could pay for an entirely new roof. However, there are certain situations where a home inspector could be held liable for failing to report or just completely neglecting major issues within the house. So this video is kind of like what you need to know if this is kind of something that you're thinking about for your particular situation. I want to remind y'all, I am not a lawyer, okay? This is just me doing some quick little Google research online. So remember to consult an actual lawyer, a professional, before you go down this route. And also, this is not me, shitting on the home inspection industry. I don't know if it's an industry, but I'm obviously not trying to talk badly about, home inspectors. I know that there are good home inspectors and there are bad home inspectors, just like how they are with people in all industries. But this is just my experience, and I am just answering questions that have been asked of me on every single one of my videos because of all the crap that we have been going through with our house. The first thing you can do is file a negligence claim. Essentially, you could claim that the inspector didn't take reasonable and necessary steps to detect issues with the house. But proving negligence might not be easy. If the inspector provided you a detailed report and then you signed off on it, then you're probably shit out of luck. You may also need to hire a second inspector to prove that the first inspector missed a lot of things that you found after you bought your house. Another thing you could do if you can't sue for negligence is you can sue for breach of contract. You can only do this obviously if there is a contract in place in which you feel that they violated. So for instance, maybe you had a contract that stated that you wanted the home inspector to check for galvanized pipes underneath the house. And he didn't, and it turns out after you bought the house, you had discovered you had galvanized pipes. Another option, which has also been very much commented in my videos, is suing the seller for liability. I think it's easy to come after the inspector, but ultimately they can only do so much, right? They're not able to break down walls or, you know, open up the floor. They can only see what they see. Whereas the seller, especially in my case, I feel like they probably did some DIYs to cover up some really cheap, really unsafe work that they did. If the seller knew that there was a problem with the house but didn't disclose it during the home buying process, you may be able to sue them for damages. Again, I'm not an attorney. The closest I've gotten is watching Legally Blonde. So this is just something that has been brought to my attention. I didn't even know that this was something that you could do until I saw it in my comment section. You know, I just wanted to do this video to share some information that I learned, but to also just let it all out there and say, no, I am not going to sue the inspector. No, I am not going to sue the homeowner. First of all, the inspector gave us a very detailed, multi-paged report about his findings. And, you know, there was pictures in it. I don't feel like, I don't know, it's hard. I just like, I don't feel like he did a bad job. I don't feel like he intentionally tried to screw us over in any way, but every contractor since we bought the house has, like, basically everyone that goes up to the attic has taken one look and said, why didn't the inspector point this out? Why didn't the inspector point this out? Why didn't the inspector point this out? And I just like, I don't know, I just like want to believe that, I don't know. It's just, I'm not going to sue him. I just don't have the energy. I don't want to spend the time, the money, the resources to do that, especially now since we've already fixed a lot of the problems that were missed. I feel like we just like simply don't have a case anyways. And I just like, I feel like there's already bad juju enough in the house because of just like everything that's been going on. The last thing I want to do is bring like suing issues, you know, legal issues into the bad juju. I just don't want to do that. Now, the previous owner, on the other hand, again, if I had the energy, if I had the resources, if I had the money, that is someone who I would definitely consider looking into to at least get a little bit of money back, just because I do feel like, especially talking to our neighbor John, he found the cheapest worker to do the cheapest job and covered it with phobic wall, with planks. He's someone that I would definitely love to talk to, but am I going to sue him? Again, no, it's just not something I want to spend my time doing. We're already in the process of renovating. I'm just taking this as a very expensive life lesson. And I think that's the only thing I can really do in this case. There are definitely times where I feel like I have major regret in buying a house, and I viewed buying our very first house as a sign of just like huge things moving forward for us as a family, and it has just been nothing but a curse, really. It has been nothing but issue after issue after issue after issue, not even like just with the house, just with car accidents and other things outside of the home issue. I just feel like us buying a home was the catalyst to all these things that have been happening in our lives. And I'm just so bummed because this is our experience of owning our very first home. And I wish it would have gone so much more smoothly. And I don't know, it is just such a bummer. It is such a bummer. That's it. We are not going to be back in Houston for a little bit, but while we are away in LA, we are taking the opportunity to get our pipes fixed. So when we come back, we will have fresh, non-galvanized pipes in the house. We are also going to finish the pergola, and then we're going to paint the house, the outside of the house, and then also got to get rid of that faux brick wall. So those are things that we are doing while we are here with the contractors that we met before I left. And hopefully next time we get back to Houston, we will enter a fully functioning house. Fingers crossed. Also, if you are a lawyer and watching this, please clarify anything that maybe I got wrong, because again, this is just me internet searching. And then also, if you are a home inspector, I don't know if you found this video, please let us know kind of like maybe questions we can ask home inspectors, or I don't know, just like help us out here, because it seems like a lot of us are struggling, and we would, I don't know, love to get your perspective on it, I guess. I'm Asia Dang. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.